Raymond Burr rose from humble beginnings to become one of television's most enduring stars, known for his commanding presence and moral certainty. Yet behind the public image of a confident, larger-than-life actor lay a man who guarded his private life fiercely, often at great cost. Burr's career trajectory, from radio and film character roles to television legend, was marked by intense ambition, meticulous control, and a deep need to protect himself from scrutiny. While he built a persona of strength and stability on screen, his off-screen life was shaped by secrecy, strained relationships, and financial decisions that eventually undermined the very stability he projected. In the end, his story is not simply one of fame and success, but of isolation, sacrifice, and the high price of preserving an image in a world that demanded conformity. Early life, a childhood marked by change. Born in New Westminster in 1917, Burr's early years were shaped by upheaval. His parents divorced when he was young, and he moved with his mother to Vallejo, where he spent his formative years. The need to support his family forced him to leave school at 17, pushing him into a series of odd jobs. He worked as a ranch hand, traveling salesman, and even sang in nightclubs, experiences that built both his resilience and his ability to perform under pressure. His eventual enrollment at the Pasadena Playhouse marked a turning point. There, he honed his craft and developed the powerful voice and physical presence that would become his trademark. These early struggles laid the groundwork for the disciplined, controlled persona he later maintained throughout his career. Early career, the villain who could not be ignored. Burr's early film career in the 1940s and early 1950s often cast him as the antagonist, a role he played with chilling intensity. His imposing stature and resonant voice made him a natural fit for noir and crime dramas, where he frequently portrayed ruthless men whose menace was impossible to ignore. His performances in films such as A Place in the Sun and Rear Window showcased his ability to convey both power and psychological depth. While these roles earned him critical attention, they also risked typecasting him. Yet Burr's ambition pushed him to seek greater range, and his early success in villainous roles proved crucial. It demonstrated his ability to dominate the screen, a skill that would later translate into television stardom. His reputation as a reliable character actor grew, and by the mid-1950s, he was poised for a transformation. The breakthrough, from villain to icon. The role that changed everything for Burr was his chilling performance in Rear Window, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. His portrayal of the sinister Lars Thorwald earned him acclaim and cemented his status as a major Hollywood presence. Yet it was not simply his talent that carried him forward. It was his ability to transform himself. Burr moved from supporting villain roles into leading television work, demonstrating that he could embody authority, intelligence, and moral certainty. This transition culminated in his casting as a character who would define him for decades. It was a shift that required not only acting skill, but also careful management of his public persona. Burr was now entering an era where image mattered as much as performance, and he was determined to control both. Perry Mason, the role that defined a generation. In 1957, Burr began portraying the brilliant defense attorney created by Earl Stanley Gardner. The series ran for 9 seasons and over 270 episodes, turning Burr into a household name. His portrayal was precise, controlled, and intensely authoritative. He became synonymous with courtroom drama, his calm demeanor and methodical investigations setting a standard for legal television that still resonates today. The role earned him 2 Emmy Awards and solidified his place in pop culture history. Yet the very success that made him famous also intensified his need for control. As the show's central figure, Burr had significant influence over production decisions, and he used that power to maintain the image of professionalism and perfection that audiences expected. His performance made him beloved, but it also began to create distance between him and those who saw him as unapproachable or overly demanding. Ironside and the Rise of Control. In 1967, Burr returned to television with a new role, a paralyzed police chief who solved crimes from a wheelchair. The series Ironside was groundbreaking in its portrayal of disability, and Burr's performance was powerful and dignified. The character's toughness and intelligence resonated with audiences, and the show's success reinforced Burr's status as a television powerhouse. Yet as his fame grew, so did his need to manage every aspect of his career. Burr became known for being meticulous and demanding, sometimes to the point of alienating those around him. He exerted influence over scripts, casting, and wardrobe, and he rarely tolerated disagreement. While this approach helped maintain the quality of his work, it also created friction. The more control he exercised, the more distant he became, and the fewer people remained close enough to challenge him. Personal life, secrecy, partnership, and the cost of privacy. Burr's personal life was marked by secrecy and careful curation. He married actress Isabella Ward in 1948, but the marriage collapsed quickly, ending in divorce in 1952. Later, Burr formed a long-term partnership with actor and veteran Robert Benavides. Their relationship lasted until Burr's death, but it was kept private due to the social stigma surrounding homosexuality at the time. To protect his career, Burr crafted a public narrative that included fabricated tragedies and romantic relationships that never truly existed. While this secrecy helped shield him from scandal, it also created a barrier between him and others. Friends who sought intimacy found him evasive and distant. Over time, his need for privacy became a form of self-isolation. He was not hostile, but he was difficult to truly know, and those who tried often felt shut out. In a world built on connection, his protective walls began to cost him friendships. Financial rise and decline, the price of generosity. At the height of his fame, Burr earned enormous sums, reportedly making millions annually from his television success. Yet his lifestyle and generosity exceeded his means. He owned multiple properties, including estates in California and overseas holdings. He funded philanthropic projects, supported friends and acquaintances, and gave freely to causes he believed in. While this generosity reflected a genuine desire to help, it also masked a lack of financial discipline. Burr entrusted much of his money to others, often without close oversight. As his acting opportunities began to wane in the late 1980s and early 1990s, his income dropped while his expenses remained high. Property taxes, maintenance costs, and legal fees mounted. By the time he entered his final years, he was increasingly dependent on reunion television movies and dwindling resources. His financial collapse was not the result of extravagance alone. It was also the result of generosity that was never balanced with caution. The final years: illness, withdrawal, and the erosion of support. In 1993, during the filming of his final television movie, Burr's health began to deteriorate. He had been diagnosed with renal cell carcinoma, and the cancer later metastasized to his liver. He kept the diagnosis largely private, continuing to work even as his strength faded. As his illness progressed, he became more withdrawn, allowing only a few trusted people into his inner circle. The same traits that had helped him succeed, control, privacy, and self-reliance, now isolated him at a time when support mattered most. Many former friends and colleagues, already strained by past conflicts or misunderstandings, drifted away. Burr's life had narrowed to its essentials: his partner, his staff, and the few who remained loyal. When he died in 1993, his passing was mourned by fans worldwide, but the circle of people closest to him was far smaller than it once had been. Conclusion: a legacy of talent and loss. Raymond Burr's life is a study in contradiction. He achieved extraordinary success and left an indelible mark on television, yet he paid a heavy emotional price for the control he maintained over his image. His secrecy protected his career, but it also eroded intimacy and trust. His generosity helped many, but it depleted his resources and left him financially vulnerable. In the end, the man who played defenders of justice and strength on screen lived a private life marked by solitude and loss. His legacy remains powerful, not only because of his iconic performances, but because his story reveals the hidden costs of fame, the dangers of isolation, and the human longing for connection, even when it feels too risky to pursue.